Hey, she's back. Yes, I am. I am back, people. I'm not feeling this dress yet. It's making me feel like a bit fat and I feel like I've lost weight. But anyway, let's get into today's video. Hey beautiful people, I'm Vara Brown and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are good and I hope you guys are doing amazing. Today's video is based on an email that I received from such a lovely woman. Honestly, she is amazing, she is beautiful, she is awesome. Her writing skills are just A1, and when I read her email, I'm not going to read the content of her email, but when I read her email, it just made me feel like, damn. And sis, I was in the bag. Yes, I was trying to secure the bag, okay? I was in the bag and I was reading her email and I'm just like, nah, this can't be it. And the reason why I say this can't be it is because I actually personally know her myself. She's somebody that I've known since I was like, before this whole Vara Brown stuff, like I'm talking about children's section days, yeah, okay? This video is for her and it's also a video for you guys as well because listen, depression is real, okay? But I want to teach you how to deal with depression. Now, I am not a doctor, I am not a pastor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a teacher or anything like that, so I think I should rephrase that, but I want to show you how I dealt with my depression. I could only speak on my personal experiences with depression and how I chose to deal with it and how I'm choosing to effectively deal with it every day, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the symptoms of depressions and everything like that, it tends to creep in, but I'm working on it actively every day. So if you want to hear what I have to say in this video, stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. So I quickly just put on my glasses because I want to go through the definition of depression, because I really feel like it's important to define what this word depression means. So quickly going on Google, it says feeling of severe dependency or despondency and dejection. I do apologize if I pronounced that word wrong. And it's got happiness, sorrow, woe, gloom, gloominess, dejection, disheartenedness, low in spirits, heavy-heartedness, discouragement, hopelessness, and it goes on to say more. And under it, it's got self-doubt creeps in, and that swiftly turns into depression, okay? So that is what Google is defining what depression means. So I've quickly gone on to medical news today, and I know you guys are probably thinking, what the hell is that? But you know what, Google is your best friend, hey. But why I felt it was important to read this to you is because I can actually identify with what they have said here. So it goes on to say, what is depression and what can I do about it? And it said, depression is sadness, feeling down, having a loss of interest or pleasure in daily activities. These are symptoms familiar to all of us, but if they persist and affect our life substantially, it may be depression. And it just said, quick key facts on depression. Depression seems to be more common in women than men. Symptoms include lack of joy, a reduce of interest in things that used to bring a person happiness, which is actually what I could identify when it comes to YouTube. Life events such as a bereavement produce mood changes that can usually whoa, sis, can you read? Life events, take your time for us, such as bereavement, produce mood changes that can usually distinguish from the features of depression. I'm going to read that again because y'all know this. I'm just going to keep 100 with you. So life events such as bereavement produce mood changes that can usually distinguish from the features of depression. Well done, Vara, that's good. The causes of depressions are not fully understood, but they are likely to be complex, a combination of genetic, biological, environmental, and sociology psychologically factors. I'm going to put it down there because I don't know what that is. So yes, those are some key facts about depression. So now that we've talking about the key facts of depression, what is depression? What can it possibly look like for some people? Like I said, I don't want to box depression into just one thing, because you know what, every person's experience with depression can be different. Do you understand? So I don't want it to box it into one thing, but what I'm going to do is talk about how I overcame depression and how I'm effectively working on it every single day to not be depressed. Okay, so keep on watching. Now, I can't lie to you guys, I've had my few shares of feeling depressed. I think the very first time I ever felt depressed, if I'm being wholeheartedly, because I do believe there's a difference between sadness and depression. You know, there have been times where I've experienced a breakup, but I've not felt depressed, if you get what I mean. I felt sad. But when I really truly understand depression, and when I think about depression, the very first time I've ever felt depressed is when I lost my dad in 2013. Now, you guys know I am a daddy's girl. I say this all the time. Even talking about my dad is just making me light up right now. Do you understand? But I honestly felt like I was so depressed when I lost my dad. I did not brush my teeth. I did not bathe. I did not comb my hair. I was just down. That's the way it was. I was down, I was depressed. I felt like there was no purpose of me living. That I felt like, why am I here? Do you understand what I'm saying? I felt like there's no, life is meaningless to me now. My dad is gone. What do I do next? What's there to do? I felt hopeless. I was just down. I did not know my left from my right. There was nothing I wanted to do. I just wanted to sit in bed all day. I didn't even want to eat. That's how bad it was. And if you guys know me, I absolutely love food. Like, my favorite food, yeah, is like semolina, okra stew, and beef. Ooh. And then if you give me a pizza, babes, I'm here for it. But I couldn't even eat my favorite foods. There was nothing I wanted to do. I just wanted to sit there and do nothing. And I realized at that moment I was depressed. You know, I had university, I couldn't do anything. Everything around me was just stagnant. I had deferred my year. Even when I felt and attempted to want to try and get out and stuff like that, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had it in my head that, okay, you know what, today you're gonna get up and you're gonna go out, but I couldn't do it. And the reason why I couldn't do it is because I was depressed. Another reason, another event that comes to mind when I felt about feeling depressed, which is more recent, is actually just feeling discontent with how my life is going. Earlier on in the year, I can remember, you know, turning 27. You know, guys, I don't really like to share my age, but you know what, there's no shame in it because I'm still a baby girl, okay? But yes, I remember turning 27 in January, and I just felt like, whoa, like, what's good? Like, what's happening? Like, there's nothing going on with my life. I feel like I'm making all these sacrifices. I feel like I'm making all these efforts and I am not reaping the benefits. People are making progress, and I kept looking at other people and I was comparing myself to other people, and, you know, avoiding other people as well in person. You know, like, it could be family members, it could be friends, because I was so sick and tired of telling the same story. No, auntie, I don't have a boyfriend. No, auntie, you know, I'm not married yet. No, the man hasn't come, blah blah blah. Like, I was fed up. I was sick and tired. Oh, is there somebody? Like, no. You know, it was a point where I was just like stressed out. Do you understand? I was so stressed out, and because I was that stressed, I made some decisions for myself, some decisions that, like I said, if you go back to my settling video, because I don't want to get into that, but I made some decisions for myself which was not the right decisions. And then when I made those decisions for myself, I was even more depressed. I was gaining weight. I was unfit. Walking up the stairs in my house was like a myth to me. Like, it felt, you know, I couldn't carry my weight. Like, I wouldn't say like I've got a small stature. I'm 5'5", and I do believe that's average height. But the weight that I'm currently carrying, and the weight that I was carrying back then, it was a struggle for me. It was so hard. Like, I just couldn't move about. Walking, I was like panting like crazy, you understand? And I was depressed. I would be in my room, I wouldn't chat to nobody. And you know, even when my mum tried to talk to me and everything like that, or my siblings or whatever, I was just yeah, I was depressed. So that's an early, more, I want to say that's a more recent feeling or encounter with depression. Now, how I chose to deal with depression is simply this: I had to make up my mind that I am not going to live this way anymore. Now, you guys know in my feeling fat and I think feeling fat and unattractive video, I was addicted to Mr. Kipling. Mr. Kipling actually makes me sick right now. Even thinking about it, it's just making me want to gargle or gag in my mouth. In my mouth. Like, it just makes me feel sick. I used to eat, Mr. Kipling has 6 vanilla swirls in them, okay, and I used to eat 3 packs a day. So you guys do the maths, because y'all know I'm not good at maths, but I used to eat 3 packs a day, and that was a lot. And you know what, I had to make up my mind that I am not going to do this anymore. It was hard for me. It was so hard. It was very, very hard. It was very difficult because I saw myself becoming a slave to Mr. Kipling. I would go out of my way, like, you know, that would be the, I noticed that would be the one thing I would leave my house for. I would not leave my house for anything else. I would not leave my house to go see my friends. I would not leave my house to go and see my partner at the time. I wouldn't leave my house to go to church or anything, but I would leave my house to go and buy Mr. Kipling. And I realized, nah, you are becoming a slave to Mr. Kipling, and that is not good. So I had to make up my mind that, you know what, I'm not going to allow this thing to affect me. I'm not going to allow this to bring me down. I also had to give myself a reality check. And sometimes giving yourself a reality check involves you talking to people that you trust. Now, when I say talking to people, I really want to emphasize the point in talking to people that you trust. People that actually care about your well-being. Because I want to tell you something. You guys will say, oh, Farah, you're thinking too deep, but it is the reality. And you know what? I always want to give you guys the real. The reality is, yeah, that there are some people who enjoy seeing you down. There are some people that enjoy not seeing you make progress. There are some people that enjoy listening to your story and just telling them that, oh, this is not working for me, that's not working for me, this is happening to me, I feel down. Some people get like a thrill out of it to know that you are feeling down, that to know that you're feeling sad. And that, why is that? Because they're insecure themselves, because they see the potential in you. They don't want you to achieve that full potential. They don't want you to amount to anything. Now, I know some of you are like, Farah, it's not that deep. Look, it is that deep. You know, there was a time I was speaking to my sister, and not to go on too much, but I was scrolling through Instagram, and the girl who had the acid attack on her face, and I was saying to my sis, I was like, sis, can you believe the girl who had acid thrown on her face, her friend actually did it? Now, I know that already because of what we saw in the news and everything during that time, but I actually deeped it. I was like, rah, that person was her friend. That person went to the hospital to comfort her, do you understand? Or her household, I can't even remember, but I know that girl who had the acid on her face, she said that this person came to her, comforted her, was there with her, do you understand? And that was the very person who threw acid on her face. So none of you, I don't want to hear any of you tell me that, oh, Farah, you're thinking too deep, blah, blah, blah. I will say it again. There are some people, there are some family members, there are some friends, there's some loved ones, there's some close people. It could be a work colleague, it could even be your partner, it could be anybody, all right? And I hate to think that these things happen, but let me tell you something, it is real, it happens. There are people like that are out there that are happy when you are not making progress, that are happy when you are depressed, that are happy when you pick up that phone and you tell them, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm passing through, just because they are not content with their life, so that they unconsciously feel like they've got one up on you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Deep it. That girl who threw acid on that person, they were friends. Do you understand? They were friends. Okay? I know I went into a tangent with that. So please, when you're giving yourself a reality check, talk to people that you trust. wholeheartedly. Do you understand? And if you feel like you cannot trust anybody, talk to God Almighty. Do you understand? He's a comforter, he is a friend, and he has a good listening ear. The bottom line is he knows you. He knows who you are. He knows you when you were formed in your mother's belly. It talks about it in, I believe, in Jeremiah 1 verses 5, or the other way around. Do you understand? I'll put it there on the screen. He knows who you are. Talk to God. And I know that these things are easier said than done, but talk to God. Do you understand? And you know, I don't want to sidetrack a little bit. Even though I'm saying that there are people that don't want you good, there are people that do want your good. There are people that do love on you and want to see the very best for you. Do you understand? And I realized that on YouTube when I made a video in February where I felt so down, I felt so depressed, I was so distraught, and I cried out to you guys on YouTube, and the amount of love that I received, it was amazing. It blew my mind that there's an online community that cares about me. So even when I feel like there are people around me that don't care about my well-being, I know that there's an online community out there. There's a few people who actually care about me and took the time out of their day to message me and contact me. Do you understand? And still today, check up on me. You know, there are family members that you can speak to. Speak to them. The best way is to speak out. Speak to them. Speak it out. Another way I chose to deal with it is to write however I'm feeling. Do you understand what I'm saying? Write it out, and through my writing, that's how I hear God. A lot of the times when I'm writing, that's how I hear God. Do you understand? And it's so funny because I used to feel like I couldn't write for nothing. Do you understand? But it's one of the ways that God communicates to me. Do you understand? And yeah, write it out, write it down, make it plain, and just express how you're feeling. Do you understand? Take walks, go outside and get some fresh air. Some of us are cooped into our confined space. We're in a confined space where it's like a bedroom or a living room or whatever. Some of us, you know, we live in a bedroom. That's some of our realities. Do you understand what I'm saying? Get out of that environment and walk. Just walk. If it means taking a drive, take a drive. Do you understand? With caution. Do you understand what I'm saying? Take it with caution. These things, taking a walk and with caution, because I don't want you to do anything silly. I don't want you to do anything, and I'm not going to say silly, so forgive me for saying that, but I don't want you to do anything that will put you in harm's way. Do you understand? That's why I do feel like it's very important to talk to people that you trust. Do you understand? That you can meet up with, that you can take these walks with, that you can take these drives with. Do you understand? Listen to preaching, listen to music. I know that, you know, Joel Osteen is quite controversial and stuff like that, as many preachers are. Let me tell you something, I'm not going to speak on his behalf, but there are many preachers out there who are not saints. Do you understand? I'm not a saint, you're not a saint. We all make mistakes, and before they're preachers, they are human beings just like us, so they are going to make mistakes. But I like to call Joel Osteen a happy preacher. Do you understand? I've been listening to Joel Osteen, and he just makes my spirit just feel like, okay, giddy, like I'm gonna get it, like I'm happy again. Do you understand? There's hope for me. People like Joyce Meyers, Heather Lindsay, what's this new preacher that's kind of booming right now? Is it John Gray? Or I will put his name down below. People like Sarah Jakes Roberts, sorry. People like her. It's just like, okay, nah. She keeps it real. Do you understand? And I'm like, listen, so long as I've got my edges, I'm cool. Do you get what I mean? So listen to preachers, listen to music. I'm a lover of music. Listen to things that are going to build up your spirit, that's going to make your spirit feel happy. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to be in control of your mind. The mind is a battlefield, okay? It's such a battlefield, and every day you need to pour into yourself. You need to pour into that mind of yours, you understand? And eliminate the negative thoughts. Do you understand what I'm saying? People think I'm crazy, but I tell my friends this all the time. I speak when I'm on the road. When I'm in the car, I speak to myself. When I'm on my phone and nobody's calling me, nobody's speaking to me, I'm on my phone, I'm talking to myself. I look in the mirror in the morning, I'm speaking into my life. I'm speaking into myself. I'm telling myself all these positive things. Do these things. It may sound crazy, it may seem crazy, but if you do it, trust me, you're going to see good results. I know the things that I've mentioned to you are just a few things, but do your research, honestly, guys. And you know what? I'm here to speak to as well. Speak to me, okay? And sorry, I should have said this quite earlier on in the video. Stay prayed up. Encourage yourself. You have to be your biggest cheerleader, okay? When nobody's cheering for you, when nobody's rooting for you, root for yourself. Cheer for yourself. Do you understand? That's the reality. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. People are going to disappoint you, yes. People may not always be there for you, yes. But you have to learn to encourage yourself. You have to learn how to pick up yourself. When there is nobody there to pick you up, you need to pick yourself up. Do you understand? And in this moment, there have been times where I wouldn't say that I was depressed, but I was saddened. I was sad. I had to learn how to pick myself up. Do you understand? Because listen, you can't always be dependent on others. You know, and I hate to say that, but I'm a firm believer in do-it-yourself ministry, okay? And that's funny because MFM is like that, Mountain of Fire Miracle. They teach you how to pray your way to break through yourself. They teach you not to be dependent on your pastor, and that's the reality. Listen, we didn't come through our mother's you know, private area with our pastor. We didn't. You understand what I'm saying? We came here by ourselves, so we need to fight for our destiny. You need to fight for your life. And this is what I wanted to say, which is, thank you God for reminding me, is that be careful with the amount of time that you're not willing to push yourself. Because let me tell you, that's time that you are not going to get back. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't allow the devil to rob you from your destiny. Don't allow the devil to rob you of your life. Don't allow the devil to rob you of beautiful moments that God has created, that is destined for you to achieve, that is destined for you to experience. You understand? I'm not saying that, you know what, because there's a lot of argument where they say, okay, you know what, depression is from the devil. The African churches, that's all they say, depression is from the devil. I'm gonna say, you know what, I agree with that because I don't believe depression is from God, but I will also say that get medical help too. Do you understand? I've never taken antidepressant pills. I'm not here to advise anybody to get that or not to get that, but seek help from your doctor. Speak to a counselor, speak to a coach, whatever the recommendation that your doctor has given. Seek advice and pray about it to God and see if that's the right thing for you to do. Bottom line, if you've gained anything from this video, the way to get out of depression is by giving your totality to God. Now, like I said, it's easier said than done. Trust me, I've been through it, I know it, I feel it. Do you understand? But you have to give your totality to God, and you have to be determined to push your way throughout. Do you understand? And also know that there are support from loved ones. There are support, despite my long, you know, like, oh, there are people that blah blah blah, but there are people that do want to support you. So I do want you to know that, and I do hope that this video has helped my friend. I do hope, you know, I did email her, so I do hope that she's seen my email, and I do hope that this video has also encouraged somebody out there today. And yeah guys, stay tuned, more content is coming out soon, and yeah, I love you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel. I am Farah Brown. Don't forget to hit the notification bell down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.